Hello and welcome back to Pectolas. My name is Shibu and this is the review of Shaka Ilembe Season 2, Episode 3. In this episode, with Sombeli's help, the Ndwandwes begin their assault on the Mtetwa kingdom in two ways. First, they intercept their trade routes and steal some of their goods. And secondly, they send one of Zwite's daughters, Ntombazana, to go and seduce King Dingiswayo. And then the other thing that happened in this episode is finally, after some hiccups and some challenges, Shaka is finally coronated as the king of the Zulu kingdom. Let's get into it. So just like the first two episodes, this episode was incredible and it was such a marvel to watch. Was it perfect? No, it wasn't perfect. And we'll get into that a bit later on in the review. I first want to start off with the great and amazing things that happened. So, first up, I really do like how they're setting up the war between the Mtetwas and the Ndwandwes, and also uncovering or sort of laying it up for us what exactly the Ndwandwes are plotting and how it is they're planning to take down the Mtetwa kingdom. It just makes for some good storytelling, and it's going to bring a lot of drama and a lot of exciting scenes, I believe. So that was actually very nice to see. The other thing that I enjoyed seeing with the Ndwandwes, which I think is going to really bring a lot of drama and bring a lot of excitement to the show, is that developing rivalry between Nomahlanjana and Sikunyana. These brothers are both the sons of Zwite, but they have very differing demeanors. We can already see that Nomahlanjana is poised and presented as the better brother. He is physically adept. He's a good warrior. He's trusted to go on missions, and he embodies the Ndwandwe spirit. Truly, he is such a fierce and gruesome warrior. Whereas on the other hand, Nomahlanjana has a more gentle and kindred type of demeanor. He avoids being involved in battle. He'd rather stay away from it. And, it doesn't help the situation that Nomahlanjana was chosen to basically marry the person that Sikunyana fell in love with, which is Fetchiwe. So this sort of rivalry between them, as well as this love, this suffocated and smothered love between Fetchiwe and Sikunyane, which they are refusing to actually put out. Instead, they fanning the flame of their love. It's promising to, sort of drive a wedge between the two brothers and split the kingdom apart. Another thing which I liked about this episode, which is not unique to this episode, but this episode basically highlighted it for me, that scene where Pikile brings a mirror for Nandi. They are slowly showing us the influence and the presence of the international world and the outside world in the show. We see it with the mirror, we've seen it with the traders, we've seen it with some of the slavery that was going on. And there was also a moment in the previous episode where the Xhosa people were discussing the presence of the British and how they basically in the land to fight for the land, and they don't want to actually build good relations with the locals. So yeah, it's setting us up essentially for some of the wars and the battles that we've heard about. So I'm liking the subtle inclusion of those elements in the episodes. The third thing that I really enjoyed about this episode, which I think really was what carried the entire episode, was seeing the coronation of Shaka unfold before our eyes. We basically got a glimpse into what it takes to put together a coronation and what it takes for a king to sit on the throne. They take us through all of the ceremonies, the rites, the rituals that need to take place to get Shaka on the throne. This was so educational and it was so exciting and engaging to watch. And we touched upon it in the previous episode as well, of how educational the TV and film industry can be, especially when you're considering something like Shaka Ilembe, which is sort of like a historical depiction of of the story of Shaka. So it's true to what happened in those days. So we get to learn a lot about how things were done in the Zulu culture. I had one specific issue though. There was just one element which just left me feeling like something is missing. It left me wanting. And it's this story of the bull, right? So far, up until now, with an exception of one or two moments in season 1, the writing has been impeccable. Everything has been accounted for. Everything has been justified. Like when something goes down or takes place, there's an explanation, there's a reason, and you as the viewer, the audience, get to understand why certain things are going down. And I felt that this was missing, especially in the case of the bull. Give me a chance to explain. Let me just explain myself. So throughout the episode, there's this issue of the bull. Number one, there's a bull that escaped and they had to get a new bull from Odwini, apparently. Then this bull falls sick. So the bull falling sick and falling ill is apparently meant to signify something going wrong or a bad omen or an indication that something might go wrong, right? But why? What is the significance of the bull, right? Yes, I understand that if the bull falls sick, then the ceremony can't go on. This is what we're told. But why? I feel like that element of actually getting to understand what's so important about this bull, why it needs to live, was just not addressed. You know what I'm saying? The first bull apparently escaped and ran off, so they replaced it with another bull from Edwin. When the second bull falls sick, why can't it be replaced like the first one was replaced when it ran off? Why does it need to be nursed back to health? What is the significance of this bull? Why is this bull so important? Why can't the bull die? If you can replace the bull that ran away, why can't you replace the bull that fell sick? Like, why is this bull so important? That was not well communicated for me in this episode. Other thing, Shaka goes into the ancestral realm, has a beautiful moment with his father basically passing on the torch to him to give him his blessing to become king. And then when he comes back, we are told by the narrator, Umkabai, that he needs to conquer another king to sort of be recognized, which we're shown that he needs to basically go and fight this lion and kill a lion. But he walks out of that hut and the lion is just waiting for him. He doesn't have to go hunt it down. It's just there. And then we're given 20 seconds of him killing this lion. The lion is attacking him. Why is the lion attacking him? It was just so unsubstantiated. It was just so unsubstantiated. I don't know if we're just supposed to believe that this is what happens. Lions are just out there waiting for the king to come out of the ancestral land to go and fight. The lion has been briefed, okay, Shaka is about to come out. So when he comes out, you need to go and fight him, right? And then whoever wins is the king. I wish they had put more effort into substantiating that whole fight between Shaka and the lion, similar to what they did in season 1 with Dingiswayo when he had to go and join the Hlubi people. He killed a lion to basically offer up the hide as a gift to King Bungani of the Hlubi people. But we see him, how he basically hunts the lion down. We see him hunting down first a buck, using its meat to lure the lion. And then when the lion comes, he kills it from up in a tree. That made sense. The idea that there's just a lion waiting for you to kill is just, it doesn't sell to me. It's not believable. And I really had an issue with that. I just wish they put a bit more effort into making it make sense. So yeah, man, I don't know. Am I being too critical? I really didn't appreciate that aspect of this episode. And I really feel that the writers could have gone a little bit of the extra mile. I know that they can do it. they are so good. The whole of season 1 has been nothing but praises. They've done so well. And even when I look at the discourse online, this is really an impressive and an amazing, well put together production with the budget to back it. And the production house, they actually respect the story, the timelines that they take. I mean, they took 6, 7, 8 years to put this thing together. Come on, guys. You can spend extra bit of time to just fill in those tiny little details to not leave room for doubt or leave room for confusion in the audience's mind. Is it just me? Do you understand what the whole bull story is about? Do you get it? If you do, please, can somebody explain that to me? Because I missed that completely. It just was not clear to me in the episode. Then I want to highlight certain aspects of this episode which really stood out to me and was so good to watch. The first thing is the sound and music, right? The sound and music in this show really does such a beautiful job of seaming together the story, supporting the story, delivering the emotion and the mood and the tone to the audience. And it just gels together so beautifully. One example of this is there's a conversation that Sombeli has with the Mtetwa General Ubuza when Buza is preparing to go on the trip to trade with King Makasana, the one that basically the Ndwandwes are going to intercept. They exchange this, there's this exchange between Sombeli and Buza, where Buza is basically showing his support for Sombeli, and he's showing his belief in Sombeli's greatness. The background music in that scene is like so somber and it sounds mournful. And when you put into perspective the outcomes of Sombeli's betrayal at the end of this episode specifically, it starts to make sense what that music is, what the tone and the mood that sound, the background music is delivering to you, right? And it also sort of starts to showcase the slight remorse that we've been seeing in Sombeli, that he might be second guessing his decision to betray his people. Another example that I can provide for the sound and music and how amazing it is at delivering the tone and the mood of the show and the storyline is the exchange between Shaka and Senzangakhona when Shaka enters the spiritual realm, the ancestral realm. This scene altogether was just pure cinematic perfection. I mean, I could do an entire episode, an entire video all alone, just dissecting all of the cinematic elements that went into this moment. Would you like that? Tell me if you'd want to see that, because there is not enough time in this review to basically uncover everything that went down and all of the elements that went into making this moment just chef's kiss. Okay. The conversation between Shaka and Senzangakhona begins with them rehashing the past, basically discussing all of the wrongs that were done, what Senzangakhona did to Shaka, how that affected Shaka's life. And it moved from that to basically being resentful and dismissive. This is when Shaka basically tells Senzangakhona that he doesn't need him, he doesn't want him. He didn't even come to this ancestral realm for him. He came here for Jama, right? And from then on, Senzangakhona moves into a assertive, commanding position when he basically starts to tell and remind Shaka of who he is by reciting all of the names of the kings before him, saying that all of these people are in me, they are me. And after then doing this, Senzangakhona goes on to acknowledge his wrongs, acknowledge the pain that he has caused Shaka, the hardships that he has caused Shaka to live through, but also then acknowledges that it's because of this that Shaka has become the man that he is today. And it's the reason why they are standing in this moment right now, where Senzangakhona has to basically pass on his blessings. And that leads us into the moment we've all been waiting for. Shaka gets recognized by his father, Senzangakhona. And it's just such a powerful moment in which Senzangakhona passes on the torch to Shaka. So now onto the music, which is what we're actually here for. The music and the score in this scene, in this moment, in this conversation and exchange between Shaka and his father, it mirrors the emotional choreography of the scene. We start off with a somber, minimal piano melody, which reflects the retrospective rehashing moment of the past between Shaka and his father. Then, when Shaka moves on to dismiss his father, the music then shifts into this unsettling silence. It's almost as if the music stops altogether. This type of moment where the scene is stripped of the background music creates a vacuum and amplifies the tension between Shaka and his father, right? The music that once connected them in conversation is now gone. It's signifying that there's a line drawn in the sand. There is a refusal and a rejection, right? Then the rhythm of the music returns, but it's low and it's powerful. This is when Senzangakhona reclaims his voice and reminds Shaka of who he is. He's not just a man, but he is the vessel of a royal lineage. And finally, as Senzangakhona gives Shaka his blessing, the music swells up. It starts to build up into something that is grand and something that is spiritual. You know, the drums, you start to feel the drums and the bass build up. It's uplifting, it's upbeat, it's anticipating. Man, I don't know all the adjectives to describe the music, but you can feel a shift in the mood, and it's starting to pick you up and lift you up. And this fits perfectly with the words that Senzangakhona utters to Shaka. Rise, Shaka, rise, Zulu. You know, take on your throne, take your place. You know, I'm passing this torch on to you. The music is delivering and communicating that as well. And it evokes a sort of divine rite of passage. The music in the scene doesn't just accompany the moment, it becomes the moment. I urge you to go back, watch the episode, and pay attention to the background music and how it fits so well with the scene and actually helps to communicate what's going on in that specific scene. That's the music and the sound. So that's it for the review of season 2, episode 3. What were your thoughts about the episode? I really did quite enjoy the episode, apart from the little bits that I went to where I felt that a little bit more could be done to explain some of the things that were happening. But what did you think about that? Do you think I was reaching? Am I being overly critical? You know, is it not that deep? Girl, she will relax. What were your thoughts on the episode? I hope you enjoyed this episode. Oh, I hope you enjoyed this review. And I'll see you next week for the review of Shaka Ilembe, season 3, episode 4. Bye. Tukwani Sanje ino feature in every season of Shaka Ilembe. Welcome back. The Duke is back, baby. So in this episode, the Ndandwes, the Ndandwes finally, no man, not finally, they begin. Like, hello, begin. Sagala Zubuga, yeah. Sagala Zubuga, Sagala Zubuga, Sagala Zubuga, yeah. I forgot to say that. Why can I not I'm not gonna say it like it was perfect, because it wasn't. You know, because he is, you know. Stop saying you know so much. What if you don't know? What if they don't know, girl? Being presented. I'm repeating myself. Why must I repeat myself? I'm like, why? What's the big deal with the bull? Why is it such a big... Just get another bull. Oh, excuse me. Excuse-moi. Okay, get it together. Get it together, girl. Let's do this. And Sis Nakona's like, yeah, I did this to you, but you know, life happens or whatever. It's life. We get over it. I don't know, like a commanding position. Yeah, commanding.